Hi, welcome to another episode of Frankly Aretha with Susie. This is episode 5, which I call Feeling Bluer Than So Blue. All materials were purchased at the Dollar Tree for $22.50 plus tax. Now, this is the version that I made ahead of time, what we're going to try to emulate. And for this project, I had 4 of the white sunflowers, 3 stems of these metallic blue glitter squiggles, a decorative mesh, and 2 stems of the white seed beads, 1 bag of blue pumpkins. For our tools, we need wire cutters, scissors, glue gun and glue sticks, jute twine, floral wire, clips so our fingers don't get burned, these really cool finger covers that I just got to keep my fingers from getting burned, a tray, and a Lazy Susan that I have so you can see. Our first step is going to be to wrap the mesh around our wreath. And another fun fact, this was actually the second video I edited, or second video recorded, even if it's the 5th one edited. I don't wrap the mesh this way. I don't use this much glue. And the reason why that's not going anywhere. It would be really hard to take it apart. But my problem with it is occasionally I would hit that glue with my pick and I wouldn't be able to get it through the mesh, and that was not the look I was going for. Definitely don't recommend this if you can help it. And you don't need all that glue. It's not going to move once you glue it down at the end. But anyhow, I just worked my way around. I will get to the end. I will flip it over, clip it, glue it, and cut. Nearly done. Okay, next up we're going to find our top. We're going to cut about 18 inches of our jute twine. And once we find our top, you want to make sure you go on either side of the wreath form frame. You're going to make a hole on the outside of that on one side and a hole on the outside of the frame on the other side so that the weight is on the metal part, not on the mesh. You're going to make a double knot. Shove the end of the twine into the mesh so that it looks neat and tidy, and then we're going to hot glue that so it's going to stay there in place. Okay, while that's drying, I did take the liberty of cutting everything ahead of time. Now our first step is going to be our sunflowers, and the other wreath I did was sort of an ombre look with the flowers as well as the greenery. On this one, I wanted to intersperse the white sunflowers with the blue, and I actually ended up not using all of the white sunflowers that I had. And to shove that in, I just put them in a little bit of glue on the back, and you see that I've gotten a little more disciplined about where I place the sunflowers and how they appear. But you do want to have them towards the outside of the wreath frame. It does fill it in a little bit more. Next up, we're going to do some greenery, and I did go for an ombre look with the greenery here. I do try to reuse all pieces of the picks that come with the flowers, so even if I don't use it, I tend to keep it just in case. So I did have the lightest green at the top with the medium green in the middle, and then the almost brownish color at the bottom. On some flowers, I will keep the greenery attached to the flower, but in this case, I did want to kind of use this as color also. And as you can see, I'm putting it right next to the flower, but I'm touching the flower. I would say if I were to do this again, I would, for our next step, these pumpkins, I would put these on a pick, glue it into the pick, and then that way I would be able to stick it up off the wreath frame a little bit. It would stand out a little bit more. But the glue does just fine holding it. It's not a problem. Next up, I have these lovely blue hydrangeas, and I really am going to use these to fill in a lot of color throughout the wreath. I apologize for the angle here. I bumped the camera with the tray and was able to fix it, but it is a little low. So you're not going to be able to see what I'm working on as well as you normally would, and I apologize for that. But I really like these blue hydrangeas. You just look at the difference between the left and the right there. Just a little bit on the inside, and the wreath looks so much more full, so much more color. I did add these little fake wheat things that came in on one of the stems, and I put them on the bottom, or the top, opposite these little blue, they look like little glitter curlicues. I cut that metal piece off because they came on a stick with 3 or 4 of them, and I wanted to be able to control them a little bit more, so I did separate them from the stem to put here at the bottom with the little white fake wheat things at the top. And I kind of want these to poke out at you like they're coming out at you. Okay, next up were the pine cones and white pumpkins that came on some of the different stems. Again, I don't like to let anything go to waste, so even just the little pine cones that come, I use those on this wreath. These fun little blue pumpkins. There were all kinds of fun little pieces. Now here we are with our this wreath, and at the bottom we have our that wreath. The difference being that I used fewer white flowers on this. I did not group them together. I interspersed them among the blue flowers. And I used an extra stem of the white seed beads. All right, drop a comment. Let me know which one you like better. Thanks for watching.